Every morning, thousands of cars and pedestrians funnel into a single, narrow checkpoint at the southern tip of the Iberian Peninsula. About 15,000 frontier workers cross this line every single day, and the surrounding Campo de Gibraltar area in southwest Spain is home to around 300,000 Spanish citizens, whose local economy relies on the wealth generated inside this British overseas territory. When the United Kingdom voted to leave the European Union, that tight economic loop faced a sudden threat. Brexit legally mandated a hard customs and immigration border right across this commuter artery. The potential for economic collapse led to a change in diplomatic protocol. For the first time, Madrid hosted direct bilateral talks on Spanish soil, welcoming Gibraltar's chief minister to negotiate a way out of the crisis. Saving the region's economy required a comprehensive new treaty. But those negotiations immediately collided with a 300-year-old dispute over who actually owns the land beneath the towering rock face. In 1704, British forces captured the territory. 9 years later, the Spanish crown formally ceded it to Britain in perpetuity under the Treaty of Utrecht. Spain has never stopped trying to get it back. Today, Spanish diplomats regularly appear before the United Nations, arguing that the British presence is an active colonial situation that violates Spain's territorial integrity. They point out that the original 1713 treaty only handed over the town and the castle. Spain argues that the surrounding waters, the airspace, and the land where the current airport sits were occupied in the 19th century and were never legally ceded. This stacked bar chart shows the identity feelings of survey participants from 2019 to 2024. As the blue and green blocks indicate, the overwhelming majority consistently identify as Gibraltarian or British. The local population has a minority of Spanish residents, which explains why Gibraltarians have decisively rejected Spanish sovereignty claims at the ballot box. With both sides locked into mutually exclusive legal realities, a traditional border resolution was out of reach. A permanent constitutional fix was simply impossible. To prevent an economic collapse, negotiators for the 2025 Gibraltar Treaty developed a legal framework to separate daily jurisdiction from the ultimate question of ownership. This document page contains the central provision of the deal, the explicit sovereignty clause. It guarantees that nothing in the treaty impacts the legal positions of either the UK or Spain. It is a legally binding agreement to freeze the sovereignty debate, so the treaty cannot be used as a legal precedent. With that legal firewall in place, the physical barriers could finally come down. The treaty eliminates all checks and controls for people walking or driving between Gibraltar and the Spanish border town of Línea. This cleared the way for deep economic integration. The agreement effectively absorbs Gibraltar into the European Union's Schengen area and creates a bespoke customs union to keep goods flowing without friction. A moment of wonder. The negotiators successfully bypassed the ownership dispute by officially signing a document agreeing to ignore it. Removing a border fence between two jurisdictions with opposing legal claims creates security challenges. Someone still has to police the crossing. The solution places officers from the Royal Gibraltar Police alongside their Spanish counterparts in the Guardia Civil, conducting joint patrols both on land and at sea. They established reciprocal hot pursuit protocols. If Spanish authorities are chasing a suspect who crosses into Gibraltar, they must notify local police, and any arrest is handled by the jurisdiction where the chase ends. It's a 50-50 split, and while the local police cooperate on daily crime, the United Kingdom explicitly maintains full operational autonomy over its military facilities in Gibraltar, securing its strategic base at the mouth of the Mediterranean. These specific mechanisms allow for modern, practical law enforcement without either nation conceding its long-standing position on sovereignty. Today, the border is fluid, the local trade economy is preserved, Spain maintains its regional stability, and the UK keeps its military presence. Spanish officials frame the treaty as a tool for peaceful coexistence that strictly safeguards their long-term legal goals, allowing them to protect their citizens now while continuing to argue for the territory in parallel. International law moves at a slow pace. Treaties from the 1700s are still debated in modern UN committees, but the daily survival of a regional economy cannot wait for a final verdict. The 2025 Gibraltar Agreement is a highly pragmatic hack. They solved a 3-century-old territorial dispute, not by settling it, but by signing a legally binding promise to keep arguing about it tomorrow.